Guys, what's up? I hope you are having a lovely Sunday. It's a much more beautiful day here than it was yesterday. I've got all kinds of cool stuff to talk to you about today, and if you hang in toward the end of the video, we're actually going to get back to one of the reasons we wanted to do this, which is talk about survival things and weapons and stuff like that. So we are absolutely going to talk about a component for your firearm that I believe is, especially in terms of an AR-15 style platform, a vastly overlooked component of your weapon. And I have absolutely seen this firsthand be a major issue both in training and in combat. So we're going to touch on that a little bit later in the video. And I also want to, I usually do it at the end of the video, I'm going to hit it on the front side this time. Thank you guys for watching today, and throw me the thumbs up. And I really appreciate you guys letting me know, a couple of you done so recently, that you have subscribed to the channel, because like I said, it shows me what kind of content I'm making that you guys want to watch. So the more you subscribe and hit the like button and turn on notifications and all that, just like every other video says, I really appreciate that, because it lets me know that you guys like what I'm doing. So what I want to talk about with you today: yesterday, China announced that they are that they're basically going to do a fiscal war on American companies and American CEOs. And the way they have started doing that, they are sanctioning Lockheed and Raytheon out of the gate, which are two American companies. Lockheed makes the F-35 and has made airplanes, since as soon as the Wright brothers put the blueprints out for everybody to have a look at. These guys have been making some really great airplanes for a really, really long time. And then the other one is Raytheon. Raytheon makes the bulk of our missiles, both ship-based missiles, air defense missiles, and then of course some of the lovely missiles that we use to shoot down drones and balloons with. Still should use the gun. So basically what China is doing is they are using trade and investment sanctions against them, basically as a punitive measure, both against America and against these companies for selling weapons to Taiwan. So they basically are barred from importing any goods into China whatsoever. Now, you would say, okay, so we use the, we're not giving them the F-35, they pretty much stole it. We're not giving them missiles. That's very true. But Lockheed and Raytheon are also some of the largest suppliers in the entire world of civilian aircraft components. Raytheon also makes all manner of avionics for airplanes that are not related to military application. They're just civilian things. So really the biggest thing they're trying to do there is cause harm to American companies and therefore the American people, because Lockheed and Raytheon are two of the largest aerospace manufacturing companies in the United States. So really they're attempting to fiscally hurt these companies to the extent that they cause severe damage. And these companies are going to have to lay off regular American workers. I mean, there's hundreds and thousands of workers for these two companies in the United States. And just here in Northwest Florida, I mean, there are Lockheed and Raytheon hubs all over the place. So really the biggest reason I think they're doing this, because that would be the next question, is like, okay, cool. So what's the deal? What are they doing this for? I think the real answer is they are somewhat emboldened by what's going on with Ukraine and Russia. And, they're seeing Russia lose, but they're also like, yeah, well, I don't know. Russia's kind of chumps. We have a way better military than they do, so maybe we'll roll the dice. And what they're trying to do here is intimidate Taiwan even further than they already have. I mean, Taiwan militarily, without us and the intervention of our allies, they have no chance, and nor should they. I mean, they're barely the size of Missouri. I mean, it's a tiny, tiny little country whose military is propped up significantly by us and our allies. So, and they've been doing so by flying jets and bombers over and through Taiwanese airspace on a weekly basis. And they're also shooting missiles over Taiwan into the water, which, there should be more outrage over, but with all the other problems we have, I think that's a lot of the thing that we're seeing why we don't do more, because there are only so many fires we can put out, and we're putting out a lot of them right now with us giving over every dollar we have free and all the extra ammo we have to Ukraine. So the other part of this that plays into why they're doing this, the United States and especially Lockheed and Raytheon are the biggest suppliers of military hardware to Taiwan. So we just announced a $1.1 billion trade package with them, where we're going to send them advanced radar, missiles and some really nice helicopter components to help them bolster their defense in the face of this new Chinese threat, if you want to call it that, even though they've been threatening Taiwan forever now, since the 50s. So the final piece of this, beyond just them sanctioning our companies and like de facto our people, is they've also sanctioned the CEOs, not allowing them to do any business whatsoever with those countries, which you would say, oh great, cool, yeah, like the CEO is gonna do business in China. Thing is, whether they are or not, it is their right and option in free trade to do so. So again, that is a country targeting specific Americans from doing business. So yeah, I mean, I really think they are even further attempting to push their economic warfare against the United States. Another small piece of news that I want to go into before we get into this other stuff is it looks like our international prestige is taking even further hit under the Biden administration. So South Africa, who has been an American partner kind of since they've made, a lot of the changes since apartheid and everything like that, has announced a new trading agreement with China and Russia, which further just goes to show that our military prestige and our American prestige across the entire world is being severely diminished because of how we are failing to have a unified message for how we're going to handle the world. And this is just another example of that. Just one more brick in the wall, as they say, as to what we're not doing to ensure American success. So that's kind of the hot button today that I kind of want to touch into, because we've been doing a lot of stuff based on breaking news lately because there's just so dang much of it. Like, we haven't had a calm day in a hot minute. So getting back to one of the things that we want to talk about on the channel today, we're going to talk about a piece of equipment that is issued with every single AR-15 style rifle on the planet and neglected by about 95% of AR-15 owners. And that lowly piece of equipment is called the charging handle. So the charging handle is a way to manually pull the bolt to the rear in order to load more ammunition or to clear a defective round. And there are several different aftermarket versions of this charging handle, and that is what I want to talk to you about today. So this is my beautiful 300 Blackout, and it's a Spikes Tactical 300 Blackout. It came with a basic charging handle that looks just like this. Very normal. It is the mil-spec charging handle for the entire universe. Every AR-15 comes with one just like that, unless you order a fancy one. So what I want to show you is, you will notice this is a change that I have made to it. It is a Raptor Radian, and what you'll notice right out of the gate is the Raptor is significantly larger than the basic charging handle that came from Spikes. The benefit to this is, in a situation that you need to charge the weapon, what you're really going to run into is, especially if you have large hands like I do, this tiny little bit of metal is not a whole lot to hold on to. So when you're reaching to try to charge, you may find yourself stumbling and fumbling over your backup sights if you have backup sights on the weapon. So what they've done, and I've got a different one here, they've added these huge teeth to it so that you have a really nice big surface to grab a hold of, as opposed to just this small, tiny little guy. So you really can get a nice charge as you need one. And I recommend, of the different ones that are in existence, the slide lock AR-15 is a really nice one. It is just like this. It's, like I said, got those really nice big teeth that allow you to grab, with your index and middle finger, pull it to the rear and let that sucker go and get a good, a good clean charge. The one I really highly recommend is obviously the one I have on mine, which is the Raptor Radian. And we will take a look at that one again. So Raptor Radian right there. I like it a lot because it's a little bit more skeletonized. It's got these little grooves right here that allow you to, anywhere you can lose a little bit of weight on a fairly heavy weapon is a great thing. So that's the one I highly recommend, is the Radian Raptor. It's really nice, not overly expensive, and a great way to improve your AR-15 style weapon in the event that you need to either clear a malfunction or charge the weapon out of the gate, in the event that you're not carrying it in a loaded, ready-to-fire stance. So that's really what we want to talk about today. I'm going to put the links in the description. Get rid of this thing. I'm here to tell you it is too small, and if you are really trying to work your weapon quickly and you don't have a ton of time to train, Ditch this thing and get yourself something much, much more robust like the Radian Raptor or this lovely slide lock AR. So there's the difference. You can, clearly see this one. You can hide it behind it. So that's my recommendation today when it comes to your firearm, because let's face it, unless you're one of these guys that has a full-time job as a shooter, you don't have the time to do enough training to constantly cycle the mil-spec style fast enough. So I hope you guys got some great information from this, and I'd love to hear what you think, and maybe even, not the ATF. Obviously, they may be watching, probably not. But, if you guys have perhaps a different way of doing this or a different version that you like more, throw it in the comments and just let me know, and maybe I'll change up my setup. So thank you guys so much. I'm hoping you're having a great Sunday. And like I said at the beginning of the video, hit that subscribe button if you have not, because it really helps me learn what content it is that you guys like the most. So have a great Sunday, and thanks for watching.